Hi friends, Travis here. I am in some random corner of my house because we're moving some things around, and one of the rooms that is affected by that is the room that I was using as my studio before. I think what we're coming up with is going to be better in the end, but it's currently still kind of in a transitional period. So here I am, randomly in here. It's not the best lighting and it's a little echoey, so bear with me. But I needed to put this video out because I've been having a pretty major issue the last few weeks, and I wanted to talk to you all about that today. I don't normally put this kind of content out on the channel because I like to keep things positive, and I think most of you come here for the ability to live vicariously through my adventures and all that, and you don't need any sort of drama. But unfortunately, I've exhausted every other way to get a resolution on this, so here we go. On November 11th, I checked into the Country Inn and Suites in Orlando by the airport as part of a fly, snooze, and cruise package that I booked with GoPort Orlando. GoPort Orlando is a shuttle service that I've used several times in the past. However, on November 13th, which is actually my birthday, by the way, I went down to catch the GoPort shuttle from the hotel lobby, and they took my luggage and put it on the coach, and I boarded the bus, and we started making our way to the cruise port. We stopped at the Carnival Terminal first, and almost everyone on the bus got off. At least 50 plus people got off, and there was all this chaos, and there was 7 or 8 of us left on the bus. And then from there we went to the Wonder of the Seas Terminal, where one guy got dropped off for that. And then my stop, the MSC Meraviglia, was the third terminal that the bus went to. When I got to that terminal, my luggage was no longer on board the coach. My theory is that it got dropped off at the Carnival Magic and got lost in the shuffle there, because that's when it would have been reasonable for something like that to happen. I don't think that the one guy at Wonder of the Seas had anything to do with the disappearance of my luggage, because it would have been pretty obvious that he was stealing my bag, since he was the only guy. The response from the bus driver initially was that I never gave him luggage, which is ridiculous. But once he realized that I wasn't going to take that as an answer, I don't know why he would expect me to be like, oh yeah, you're right, I didn't. When I assured him that I definitely did, he pointed me over to the GoPort kiosk, where a young guy whose name I can't remember, not that it really matters because I wouldn't want to throw people's names out anyway, in this sort of situation, because that seems a little petty to me. But anyway, so he took down my information. I had to explain things to him a few times because he was very flustered with the fact that the people getting off of the cruise ship were still there trying to get to the airport, and there were delays and they were upset and all that. So clearly they were having multiple issues that day. But once he realized what I was telling him and everything, he relayed the information to a supervisor who he communicated with via a cell phone, but with voice recordings back and forth. After a few minutes of us waiting there, the guy had me listen directly to a recording sent from his supervisor telling us to board the bus and that they would find the bag and deliver it to the ship. He assured me that it was very unlikely that my luggage would not make it on board with me, and I asked him what happens if it doesn't, and he said, quote, "That would be a nuisance, wouldn't it?" No, sir, it would not be a nuisance. That would be a nightmare, which is what I told him. And he kind of laughed. I think he thought I was joking. I was not joking. I can't imagine a worse place to be without anything than a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. And, all these themed nights and events that you've packed for, now you have nothing for, and etc. So I boarded the ship, and like I suspected, my bag never made it with me. And I reported that to the cruise line, and MSC got to work trying to find it on their end, just in case it had been delivered and had just been lost in their, storage rooms or whatever. It took them almost the entire duration of my cruise to determine that they didn't have it, but also to determine that they weren't responsible for it, and MSC gave me nothing, which was really surprising to me because I've had nothing but good experiences with that cruise line. And now I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about them, although it definitely wasn't them who lost it, so that's why I'm kind of torn in being upset with them, because it definitely wasn't their responsibility to cover any of it. But a little bit of onboard credit would have gone a long way for someone who was essentially with just one outfit and no supplies for the entire 4 nights that I was there with them. I did end up having to go shopping in Nassau, which was our only real port of call, because the other port was their private island. The gift shop on board did not have literally anything in my size, so I wasn't able to buy anything there. Although had I had onboard credit, I may have been more inclined to buy things that were a little bit big for me. But since I was paying out of pocket, I decided that I need things that would actually fit. So I spent my entire day in Nassau looking for, this, that, and the other to help me get through the remainder of the cruise. But I made it work, and I did get stopped at dinner one night because I was wearing shorts, and they have a dining room policy where they expect you to wear pants. However, a lot of people weren't adhering to that in the dress code, so they were pretty relaxed about it, but I did definitely feel like they were going to kick me out at one point. And that was, pretty annoying because I never even found pants in Nassau. I went to 4 different stores and none of them had pants for me to buy. It was only shorts and only souvenir type t-shirts. And so now I have all these Nassau shirts and people probably think I'm a fanboy, but that's okay. Back to GoPort, because this is getting pretty long-winded and that's the main focus of the video. When I didn't get my luggage that night, I sent them an email, which is what the representative at the kiosk told me to do. And I initially got a response saying, we're sorry about what happened. Can you give us all the details you can remember, etc. So I gave them the full timeline. And the last thing I got from them was, thank you for the information. I'll have my team look into it. I've not received any response since then. That was over 2 weeks ago now. I've actually been on a whole other cruise since then. I've sent multiple emails, multiple follow-ups, trying to come up with a solution for compensation, etc. I had a lawyer friend look at the fine print for me, and we determined that they have a clause in there that says that they're not responsible for lost luggage in transit, etc., which is a pretty normal thing to have, but it is binding, unfortunately. However, they haven't even offered me a refund of the original, order. One of the things that I requested was future credit to use for another, shuttle service when I'm cruising there in December and in February. And I've gotten no response from them at all. They're essentially ghosting me now. I sent emails directly to the person who was originally talking to me. I resent the inquiry through their actual submission form. I have looked for phone numbers. I've, read reviews, things like that, trying to get as much information as I can on how to contact them, how to get a response from them, and they have just decided that I'm not worth the trouble. Their email is info@goport.com, I believe. If not, I'll put on the screen the proper email, and you can go to their website and find the contact us email to send stuff to if you want to complain on my behalf or, whatever. I'm not telling you to do that, but if you were to do that, thank you. I'm trying to really hold them accountable. They have been very unprofessional with me since the beginning, since the bus driver tried to tell me I didn't even have a bag, to the kiosk guy assuring me that I would get the bag, to them responding generically at first and then ghosting me. I don't know what else to do at this point. I do have insurance, so I'm going to try and figure out how to submit a claim there, but it was booked through the cruise line, and that cruise, like I said, was several weeks ago now, so I'm not sure if the coverage still even exists or if they're going to entertain the idea of compensating me for lost luggage. In the future, I'm planning on getting a private insurance policy. It seems like that would be the easier way to go about issues like this instead of relying on the cruise ship provided one, but that hasn't happened yet. And of course, this has happened right in the middle of me trying to figure all of that out as well. So, hooray. A friend of mine told me that I wouldn't be an official, vlogger or YouTuber, etc. if I didn't have a lost luggage video go out. So here I am. I guess I'm legit now. Mom and Dad, I've made it. But anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. I will post an update if I get a response or anything from them. I'm not optimistic about that unless this video gains some traction. So, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, etc. But I want to thank you all for watching, and you all have a good night.